G'day, we're back from USA and we've come back to some great news. Harley Davidson has launched, I think, 3 new models, maybe 4, with some really exciting future. So let's get into this blog and talk about these new models that Harley's released. Right, so we've come back from America with this exciting news about these new models. So let's take a closer look at these models and discuss them, and let's write some comments below on your thoughts. So let's start with what I feel is probably the most exciting and the newest to be released is the Livewire, the electric bike project that Harley Davidson showed us all a couple of years ago. The Livewire bike has been around through the dealerships for everyone to have a look at, and I see they've made some improvements on that, ready for release. I believe it's in August next year. So let's bring a photo up of that and let's talk about that. Right, so what we have here is the new version of the Livewire compared to the old one. As we can see, starting at the front, it looks like it's got a 17-inch wheel, which is going to be great for tyre sizes and tyre combinations, unlike the XR 1200, which had an 18-inch wheel, so that limited your tyre choices there. But I think the most exciting thing to see with this front end on the Livewire bike is dual Brembo monoblock calipers. Would have been nice to see some full floating rotors on this bike, but at the end of the day it probably is going to be a bit of a round town commuter, so probably floating rotors might be a little bit OTT for that. Looks like it's got the same upside down forks as the V-rods and night rod muscles, so that's good. Probably won't be fully adjustable, but as probably a street urban bike it's probably not really required. Fantastic looking bike. I'm really excited about this. You know, looks good, looks cool, looks mean. Really interested to know what your thoughts are on it. Looks like a belt drive rather than a chain drive. I'm not really sure how that system works, but pretty excited to see it, really. It's obviously got a rear seat and everything there with rear pegs, so it is designed for 2 up. So I mean, we all know that electric motors put out some great torque, so shouldn't be a problem there. Really look forward to seeing further specs on that regarding Ks that it can, or miles that it can travel, and charge times and things like that. I think this is going to be awesome, and I can't wait till its launch in August 2019. So let's move on to the next bike. So the next exciting release was the Street Fighter. So that's really exciting to see Harley producing bikes that are sport orientated. Obviously it looks like a naked bike, but let's have a closer look at this photo and we'll talk some more. So here we have the Harley Davidson Street Fighter. They are advertising this to be lean, nimble. Obviously very excited to see a new twin cam engine. Looks water cooled. Very similar front end as to the Livewire with the upside down forks, monoblock calipers, and again a little bit upsetting to see that they didn't go for a full floating rotor there. With more of aggressive, nimble, sport orientated bike, floating rotors would have definitely been not expensive for them to do, and it would have probably made a big difference. A little bit upsetting to see on it that it still has their standard style indicators that have been around since probably 1999, 2001. Would have been cool to see some LED indicators there, maybe like the V-rod muscles had on the indicator stems. I think that would have cleaned the bike up a little bit, but this is really exciting. I mean, Harley have not been sitting on their hands. They have really been hard at work. They obviously have a new design team, which some people were upset with the new bikes released in 2017-18, but I think now they're really starting to show where they're looking forward to the future. This is an awesome looking bike. I would probably think to say that this motor will be in its new Sportster lineup, and clearly as it's a sport orientated bike, 1000cc, quad cam, water cooled. It's got to go good. Certainly looks like it's going to handle well with a single monoshock. Looks to me like it's probably a belt drive rear wheel. Looks like a 17 on the front, so we should be good there for different tyre combinations and being able to fit it with any pretty much tyre that you like. Again, set up for twin passenger, which is good. I'm real excited to see this bike. I mean, I'm a sport riding fan. I've done lots of track days and time on an XR 1200, and this looks like it's going to be a really popular bike. But great to see that Harley have been doing lots of import on a new quad cam engine, water cooled. Good to see it with upside down forks. Great to see it with monoblock calipers and twin front brakes. So really excited to see this. So let's move on to the next release. So as some of you know, we've just completed a tour of the US. Myself was on my 17 Milwaukee 8 Road Glide, and Rod was on his BMW adventure bike. And adventure bikes is a fully growing market. Obviously KTM, BMW and Honda have got onto that. BMW obviously being the class leader for many years. Adventure riding is not something that I'm into, but I know Rod is very much into it. He's a dirt rider, and he was really looking forward to, when we were in the States, going off-road and riding a little bit through the desert and stuff like that. So I think to have those options as a touring bike is a great asset, especially if you're into riding off-road. So let's check out this adventure bike. So as you can see here, Harley Davidson have called it the Pan America, and we're really looking forward to seeing this released in 2020. I have to question why they've released pictures of this now. I'm guessing it's to create some excitement with Sturgis coming up next week. We have heard that Indian are going to be releasing something very special at Sturgis next week. So the timing seems quite special that Harley have released these just before Sturgis, obviously to get in before anybody else. So let's talk about this. Rod is very excited with this bike. He loves the styling of it. I personally like the styling of it. I think the front end looks really good with the road glide sort of front fairing. I love the indicators as part of the handle grips. I think that looks great. And of course it's got some very important things for your adventure riders, like your tubeless spoke wheels. It's got your monoblock Brembo calipers, twin disc front end. Pretty exciting looking bike. I mean, it's got that same motor in it, the 1000cc motor. So I'm sure it will go good, and I'm sure they will have some bolt-on bags and everything for this. So I'm really excited to see that Harley is really stepping up their game as a motorcycle company. They're not concentrating just on the cruiser market now. They're going for everything and more, as we'll see shortly coming up. So let us know what your thoughts are on this adventure bike. Harley are a good motor company. I think this will be top notch. I think it will be reasonably lightweight, and it will certainly be in the same weight class as any BMW or Ducati or KTM and such like that. So for your Harley fans that like to do a little bit of off-roading as well as lots of touring, this has definitely got some interest going for it. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing this bike and seeing what it does. I'm sure to be very capable. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this next bike I am extremely excited about. The Sportster lineup has been long overdue for a replacement. A 1200 sporty engine putting out 65, 70 horsepower just doesn't cut it anymore. Single disc front brake, they're just so outdated, it's not funny. I think Harley have well used up their Sportster engine and those chassis designs, and it's time to be replaced. And it's great to see that the Harley engineers have recognised that and released this new model. So let's have a look at the new, what I believe to be the new Sportster model. So let's check this out. Right, this is one fat looking motorcycle. If you don't like this, you've got your head shoved so far up your arse you can't see any light. This is awesome. Again, upside down front end. Would really like to see a twin disc front brake set up on it rather than a single. I'm a little bit annoyed with that. A twin disc Brembo monoblock setup as per the other bikes that we've just seen would have been spot on. I did a zoom up on this before and it looks like it's got a 17-inch front wheel, which again will give you tyre combos, but the fat tyre combo here looks great. Small fuel tank, which definitely looks like it's going to be the new Sportster. Love the single seat. I mean, who the hell carries passengers on a Sportster anyway? If you want to carry passengers, you get a new Softail or a touring bike. The tracker style exhaust system looks great. Big fat heat shields on there, gives the exhaust system some real girth, and I just think that looks shit hot. Completely different swing arm design as the other two bikes we've seen. Still clearly probably a monoshock, and as a mechanic I like the ease of access to the rear brake caliper. That's actually pretty good. But again, let us know what you think about this bike. I mean, we could sit there and talk about it all day, but I would say that it would be 1000cc. It's definitely water cooled. You know, single shock rear, upside down forks, looks cool. I'm sure it performs well, and I think this will be a big seller. I personally now, if I was in the market for a Sportster, I'd be buying a second-hand Sportster and waiting for this bike to be released. So I am very excited to see this bike, and I'm very excited to see what can be done with this engine to really get it to turn on. So again, let me know what you think about the Sportster below. Looking forward to hearing your comments, and let us know what you think. So let's move on to the next one. Very excited to see Harley Davidson looking at all sorts of cycles. Very excited to see something like this. I'm not a mountain biker, but this thing here looks freaking cool. Electric, pedal assist. I think what a great way to get younger people into the brand by providing them a very, very well designed product that can get people excited and introduced to the Harley Davidson brand. I could see somebody that's maybe 18, 19, 20 looking at buying something like this to commute around, gets them into the Harley Davidson brand. Next thing you know, they're looking at a motorcycle, etc, etc, etc. So I'm really excited to see Harley Davidson is not closed-minded, and they're looking at all different sorts of transportation, which brings us on to the next pick. So let's have a look at that. So Harley Davidson are going to producing more stores, urban stores, and I think that's fantastic. I think that's great marketing. That's not something that I would have ever thought about. I'm not saying that I'm a marketing genius. I'm not. I'm a mechanic, but I think I can see a Harley Davidson store like this at our local mall. I can see guys and girls walking into this shop looking at buying quality clothing, and we all know that Harley Davidson produces extremely good quality clothing. And again, this is a great way of getting new younger people starting off with clothing. They see a bike in the store, they start wishing for this bike, they start dreaming about this bike, they start buying the clothing. Next thing you know, they're getting into a live wire for commuting, or even one of those electric pedal assisted bikes. Next thing you know, they've got a little bit more disposable income, and they're looking at a true Sportster like we've just seen over the current model Sportster that's extremely outdated, and then progressing from there into either an adventure bike like the Pan America, or a Dyna, or a touring bike, or whatever we see. So I'm really excited to see Harley Davidson storefronts in local malls or cities. This is something that I think is extremely clever, and Harley marketing department, well done to you. Looking forward to seeing those. So there's some basic thoughts on what I see. I wish I had more info for you. I don't. I'm really excited about what's coming up. I think the brand is on the right path. I did question that 12 months ago, but now with the new bikes coming out in 2018 and what we've just seen, I'm really excited about the brand going forward. I think other people will be getting excited, and I feel very happy with the path that they're on. So really happy about that. Now, some more exciting news. When I was in America, we had a good chat with a young guy, and one of his close friends was a test rider for Indian, and he told us, but he doesn't know any details because his friend, has got to keep his mouth closed. We don't know if this is true or not, of course, it's just hearsay, but he says that at Sturgis this year, Indian are releasing a bike that is going to be a real game changer. So not just does this branding and new changes is good for Harley, it's great for the consumer, because other brands such as Indian, KTM and all those other brands will be wanting to step up their game and provide some really good competition. So really excited about what Indian are got to come up with, because Indian, Polaris are a quality brand and produce a quality motorcycle. So that will be really good to see. Great to see Harley on this path. We're excited about it. We hope you're excited about it. Thank you for watching this vlog. Don't be shy to look back on our previous episodes about our trip to US. Let me know what you think about that. Going forward, we've got lots more vlogs coming. I'm going to keep this rolling and see what comes of it, and I hope you enjoy it. So thanks again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next vlog. Cheers.